Hey everybody, this is Math Workshop for our first week. So I'm going to video us going through it in case you need questions. So number one says, what steps do you use to add rational numbers in fraction form? So in order to use, hold on, let me get there we go. In order to add rational numbers in fraction form, you have to do one thing before you can move on to anything else. So what is that one thing? You have to find a common denominator. Find a common denominator. Remember that denominator is the bottom number. Okay. And meaning by a common denominator, that means the bottom number of the fraction has to be the same. So you have to figure out how to get that denominator the same. So looking at number 2, it says 3/4 plus 3/5. So looking at my denominators, 4 and 5, they are not the same number, so I don't have common denominators, meaning I can't add these fractions just yet. So I have to find that common denominator. So looking between 4 and 5, remember you're multiplying to get 20, you're multiplying to get your common denominator, which in this case is going to be 20. If you can't just look at it and tell automatically, you can always just multiply the first denominator by the second denominator, which is what we're doing in this case anyways. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 5. If I multiply the bottom, I have to multiply the top as well. So I'm also going to multiplying that 3 times 5. So 5 times 3 gives me 15, and then my denominator is 20. Okay. So now I have to do the same thing to that second fraction. So I'm going to multiply it by 4. So multiply top and bottom by 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times 4 is 20. Okay. So now I have two fractions with the common denominator. So now I can add. Remember, you only add your numerators, your top numbers. Your bottom numbers stay the same. So this is still going to be over 20. So 15 plus 12 gives me 27. Okay. So I get 27 over 20. But I'm not finished yet. That's an improper fraction, which I don't want. Okay. You've got to simplify all your fractions as far as you can. So if you have an improper fraction, you need to change it to a mixed number. So remember, in order to change this to a mixed number, you're going to see how many times does the bottom number, the denominator, go into the numerator. So 20 goes into 27 only one time. So I'm going to have 1 and a fraction. That fraction, your denominator stays the same. So I know that it's still going to be 1 and something 20ths. So what goes on top is just whatever you have remaining after your 20 goes into 27. Okay, so 20 goes into 27 one time. And then how many do you have left? You have 7. Okay. So your mixed number is 1 and 7/20. And I cannot simplify that any further. So that's your answer, which is actually answer choice B. Okay. Number 3, we have 11/12 plus 3/4. So looking at my denominators, they are not common. So I need to do that first. Is there a way that I can get from 4 to 12? Yeah, 4 times 3 would give me 12. So in this case, you don't have to do anything to that first fraction. It can stay the same. Okay. So the second one, I'm multiplying the bottom by 3, which means I have to multiply the top by 3 as well. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then, of course, your denominator is still 12. So now that you have the common denominator, you can add your numerators. So 11 plus 9 gives you 20. So you get 20 over 12. Again, that's an improper fraction, which we don't want. We need to change that to a mixed number. So 12 goes into 20 how many times? Should only be 1. And then you have 8 remaining. So 20 minus 12 leaves you with 8. Okay. So you have 1 and 8/12. Is this completely simplified? So looking at this fraction, 8/12, can I simplify that any further? You definitely can. Okay. Looking at 8 and 12, what's the largest common number that you can take out of that. I want to take out a 4, okay? I can divide 8 by 4, and I can evenly divide 12 by 4, so that's what I want to do. So you're dividing by 4. Remember, you're only dividing that fraction by 4. So your 1 stays the same, okay? Your whole number stays. So 8 divided by 4 leaves you with 2, and then 12 divided by 4 is 3. So now you have 1 2/3. Remember, those are equivalent mixed numbers. This is just the simplified form. And I can't simplify anymore, so that should be my answer, which is answer choice A. Okay. All right, now moving on to Fridays. So it says, look at Lucas's problem below, 2/5 plus 3/8. To solve the problem, Lucas wrote 16 over 40 plus 15 over 40. What did Lucas do to rename the fraction? So how did he get from here to here? Okay, so he got that common denominator of 40, right? So what he did is he found the common denominator. He knew it was going to be 40, so in order to do that, he multiplied this first fraction, top and bottom, by 8, right? 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 5 is 40, so he got 16 over 40. And then the second fraction, he multiplied by 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. 8 times 5 is 40. So in words, what did he do? Let's read through our answer choices and see which one fits. So he found equivalent fractions with the same numerator. No, they do not have the same numerator, so we know it's not A. He added the numerators and then the denominators. No, we didn't add any numerators or denominators. Found equivalent fractions with the same denominator. Is that what he did? Yeah, he found the common denominator, the same denominator, which means that these fractions are equivalent to these fractions, okay? Remember, they're basically the same. They're just, this is the simplified version of this, okay? So they're equivalent fractions with the same denominator. So that's answer choice C. And then obviously D is not right as well. He multiplied numerators and then multiplied denominators. He did not do that. And last problem, we are subtracting in this one. So we've got 7/12 minus 1/6. Remember, subtracting and adding fractions are the same. You still have to find that common denominator, okay? So looking at my denominators here, I've got 12 and 6. So what would my common denominator be? It's going to be 12, okay? So again, I don't need to do anything to that first fraction. 7/12 can stay the same. And then 1/6, in order to get 6 to become a 12, I need to multiply by 2, right? If I multiply the bottom by 2, I have to multiply that top by 2 as well. So 1 times 2 gives me 2. 6 times 2 gives me 12. So now I have common denominators and I can subtract. So 7 minus 2 is 5. So I get 5/12. Okay, remember to always ask yourself, is that the simplest version? Can I simplify it any further? In this case, you cannot. 5 is a prime number, okay? So that means you can't simplify it unless you could have taken a 5 out of 12, but obviously we can't do that here. So 5/12 is my answer, which is answer choice B. And that is week 1's math workshop.